Hey everyone, hope you're all doing well during the coronavirus pandemic. Today I am, as you might be able to tell, at a new setup, a new location. I moved recently. This is the first solo in between episode I'm filming. I was pretty backlogged. I moved about a month ago, so still filming this on the last day of July actually. And bringing on back some ripe. And this ripe I also got from that original order I ordered a while back from Yunnan sourcing. Brought on a lot of those regional tastes of Mung Hai that Scott had produced. So like the Bulong, the Mung Song, the Bada, those teas. This time doing something a little different. This one's a mini cake, and I realized I was just about to finish it, so I thought I'd better use the last little piece to come on to the show. So this is the Gongting, and it's actually organic. It's grown in the Pu'erh prefecture, which is also formerly known as Samao. So that's a little bit north of Mung Hai. It's the prefecture directly north of it. A lot of tea produced there. And I actually haven't brought on a lot of tippier ripes. Probably the most famous one that you all know about is the Golden Needle White Lotus from Dai. That one gets talked about a lot. I did bring on one of those maybe half a year ago or so. And I actually really enjoy this tea. I think it's actually amongst the better ripes that I've tried from this batch, at least one of my favorites. Yeah, I think looking at it in terms of like leaf grade is an interesting way to look at ripe. I think you can get a pretty decent change of character, keeping in mind that ripe is a category that does tend to be pretty similar. I think you pick random Mung Hai ripes and you're going to end up more similar than different. And I think the same is true to some extent to like looking at those Mung Hai area ripes. That being said, I think you look at these tippy ones, and it is going to have an inherently different character. There's one other tippy ripe I've gotten from Scott recently that I'm going to be bringing on real soon that I think I like even a touch more than this tea, and is also quite unique. It's really easy to tell these teas. You could tell from Scott's pictures. It's just Gongting, so the really small tippy leaves. We'd expect it to be a little more caffeine. We also expect it to brew out a little faster. So you're going to get like some really rich, nice brews pretty quickly. Also a common one to have loose, so a good way to sample the genre of tea. Also tends to be just a little bit more expensive, but it's kind of in the realm of ripe. So I think this tea now is like 15 cents a gram. I think it used to be like 12, which is what I got it for when I bought it. Plus you get it on sale. So, 10, 11 cents a gram. That's a little bit more expensive than your average ripe, but to do something like a 9-gram session like I'm doing here, so using quite a bit of leaf, you're talking about still under $1, which I consider to be very reasonable. Another thing that I noted from sort of Scott's description of this tea is that it is a spring harvest. Ripe tea especially tends to come from worst harvests. Spring is usually the most sought after, so coming from spring harvest, that's a good thing. Summer, you never hear anyone advertise their ripe as summer, but a lot of ripe probably is summer, because that tends to be a lower quality harvest. So I think it's a good sign too that Scott is telling you this was harvested in April 2018. No off taste at all on this. I'm going to get drinking and stop babbling. So cheers. It's just really upfront, rich and creamy, brighter, I think, than the other ripes, your average ripe at least. I can't say that these teas are super complex, but they are really delicious, and they're much richer than probably their bigger leaf counterparts. Yeah, really tasty. In general, I do tend to brew this the same way. So I'm drinking the 4th and 5th infusion here. Similar way, so I'll have this in the morning with my wife, and then I am now drinking sort of the remnants of it. maybe I'll brew this just a tad faster than I would something like a 8592, being sort of the opposite end of the spectrum, a larger leaf ripe recipe. Cheers. Yeah, really tasty. Maybe we should have brewed that just a touch longer. And just to sort of reemphasize that point, if you put all the ripes I bought from Scott, and I pretty much bought his entire 2019 line, in a lineup, and you tasted the Munghai ones, I think you would probably notice one or two standouts there. Something like the Lao Mani would definitely stand out for its bitterness. I think this would be another standout if you put that in the same line, just because it tastes different. It's just a different character than those teas. And I honestly mainly drink those other types of teas, but this is a really nice change of pace. You might catch someone off guard. I think it also tends to be a very... I think it's a friendly ripe to those people that don't drink a lot of ripes, and I also think it's a good sort of intro in the sense that this is less. It's just a little bit more eye catching or sense catching in terms of taste and aroma and stuff like that. And I would say the same thing about the Golden Needle White Lotus, which. I tend to think is just a little bit overpriced, but also is really tasty tea and definitely an above average dai tea. So, yeah, I definitely recommend if you have not tasted a tippy ripe tea, check one out for sure. And this for me is just a reminder that I haven't had a tea like this in a while, and I'm going to need to make it a point to include more of these tippy ripes in my regular orders. Not something I need every day, but it's certainly a nice thing to have around. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope to... I recently finally got an order from Taobao from China. I was hoping to bring a couple of those teas on sometime soon. And also wanted to talk a little bit about my new location and just some basic observations in terms of like Pu'erh storage, because I know y'all, like me, can't stop thinking about Pu'erh storage. If you're storing tea, at least that's probably the case. So thank you all for tuning in, and hope to be bringing on some more episodes soon. Just realized I forgot to rate this tea. Going to give it a 6.5 rating. That's just sort of in the realm of the other teas I've reviewed. It's a little bit on the upper hand, and I think, and it's a bit of a standout too. So, yeah, I would definitely recommend this tea. I don't necessarily seek out certified organic, but if you are someone too, that's an extra plus. So, see you all next time. Cheers.